Welcome to Making a Change. I'm your host, Rick. We have a very special guest today. Could you please tell us about what you have done, your background, and how you have made a change, please?
Well, my name is Dorothea Dix. I was born April 4th, 1802 in Hampton, Maine. Growing up was hard for me. My father was a Methodist preacher who frequently was away from home, and my mother suffered from debilitating bouts of depression. Since I was the oldest of 3 children, I ran my household and cared for the family members at a very young age. Although my dad was often drunk and depressed, he taught me the most important thing in my life: how to read and write. When I was 12 years old, I moved to Boston and started to pursue my teaching career. When I was a teenager, I started getting involved with schools by creating curriculums and administrating classes. I hit a roadblock in my career in the 1820s when poor health caused me to take many breaks from work. I started to write books on how to educate young minds. But by 1836, my health caused me to stop working in schools. It didn't stop me from teaching, though. In 1836, the same year, I traveled to England, returning home months later with a new interest in new approaches to treatment of the insane. I took a job teaching inmates in East Cambridge Prison, where conditions were so horrible and the treatment of prisoners was so inhumane that I began looking for change at once. Asylums at that time were ran awfully. Prisoners were beaten by jailers, and it was an extremely poor environment. I tried to visit every facility I could and write down the horrible things that I saw. I then presented my findings to the legislature of Massachusetts, demanding the officials take action towards reform. As a result, funds were set aside to try and fix as many facilities as possible. I also participated in the Civil War. In 1861, I was put in charge of overseeing all the nurses that the war required. Many of the nurses feared me because I tried to be intimidating. This earned me the nickname Dragon Dix. Because of this, in 1836, I was stripped of my position and sent home. I went back to work as a social reformer and eventually died in 1887. I have come back to life for this reason. This interview.
Wow, what an amazing person. What influenced you into doing what you have done with correctional facilities?
Well, seeing the way people were poorly treated really affected me. I wanted to make a change, so I did.
How did that change society and influence others?
It changed the way correctional facilities are run. People might still be treated how they were if it were not for what I did. I also think my teaching influenced many students to a strong education. When I went up to the legislature of Massachusetts, I presented my case and made a change. This led to many other places changing the way their correctional facilities are run as well.
Nice meeting you, and thanks for your time. That's all for today, folks. I'm Rick. Have a nice day.